Hello everyone, my name's Kyle Hall. I'm a GP partner from Westcombe Online Teaching Practice, and as per the WhatsApp request yesterday, I'll quickly run through Zoom and the system and its potential uses. Zoom is an application that you can get from zoom.us, or is on at the Apple Store, and is also on the Google Play Store, and allows you to have basically like a Skype type thing with a multiple conference call that's set up with it. It tends to work quite well. During the COVID pandemic, I've used it for doing things like remote teaching, and also used it for partners meeting when people aren't able to attend, whether they may be self-isolating. But given that you can also do multiple conferences, could also be quite beneficial if you want to consider it for, say, using the translation services. So once you've downloaded it, either from the website or put onto your phone, it's pretty self-explanatory, so you would just click onto here. Now there are two potential things that when you get to go into it, which there is join a meeting and there is signing. We'll touch on the join a meeting later on in this video, but basically if you initially just go to sign in, and as per anyway, you can obviously sign in with your Googles, but I in fact used my NHS email, so I'll just quickly go and log into here. So once you log on, you then get an option, obviously, to whether to start a new meeting, which is here, whether to join a meeting, and then there are various other buttons where you can schedule meetings potentially in the future, or whether you would want to share your screen, etc. At the moment, what I'll go ahead and do is we'll create as if we are hosting the new meeting. Just bear in mind that you need to do a bit of tinkering with the IT and etc. So obviously there's my log at the moment, and then this is the important section in the current to set this up, because otherwise people won't be able to see or hear you. Currently I'm using one of the laptops provided by the Nlccg from home, so hence the number photo in the background. But essentially, with any computer, what's probably wise to do is if you click the test speaker and microphone, it'll then ask you, do you hear the ringtone? And obviously you would click yes because we can, and then you just need to give it a quick whistle test. You click yes because we can, and then you just need to give it a quick whistle test to check that your microphone is working, which obviously it appears to do. And then what you would do is click join with the computer audio button, and then you again can click the join computer audio. If you're going to be using the same laptop over again, obviously you can tick this box and it just speeds that whole process up. So as you can see, we're now into it, and you can see myself in that. This is not what you will see in a consultation, but obviously then you need to invite participants. So there's two ways you can do it. You can either click invite button, which will then bring up this aspect here, and obviously you've got all the contacts in here, so hopefully you will be able to find people through the NHS system, but that is obviously, as you can see, is going to take quite some time to search through everybody. So one of the ways you might want to contact the people is through an email system, and you can obviously use your default email system if Outlook's set up onto it, Gmail or Yahoo, or you can even copy an invitation down here to do so. You can also see at the top there is a certain number here. You've got a meeting number which is 601 936 202, and the meeting password is also down here at the bottom as well. These are somewhat important, but if you just wanted to, if someone wanted to join your meeting, you can also just go up to here, and again you can see the meeting ID and the password here. There's also an invitation URL here that you can copy and then obviously send off to the other person as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to log in on my Android phone with the app already installed onto it using the meeting buzz. So I've typed in this into the top thing, click join meeting, and then it will ask me for the meeting password, which is, as we said, is up here, which is why those things are important to be aware of where they are. And then once we joined, hopefully I don't get a bit of feedback here, so I'll join with the video to begin with, and you will see that the screen switches, and this is now me on the mobile phone. So now you should be able to see that the screen has changed and it has alternated onto me, which is this is on the mobile phone down here, and then obviously at the top is what you're actually seeing up here on this hand side as well. Now if for whatever reason you wanted to see yourself doing the presentation, so obviously what you could do is you just click this video top and it switches it back to the laptop computer. What I'll do now is I'll use another phone to log in to join the same meeting again, doing the same process again. So if someone's asking you, you could probably just drop them a text about it again, just using the same things to log on. It's pretty self-explanatory, and using the phones is probably beneficial as well. So that'll be join, and again it'll ask me again for the password. And what I will do is I'll try and disconnect the audio so it doesn't then just come up. So now you can see that there has been a third box developed, which is now me on the iPhone. So I'll come back to things. So this is me on the computer. This is now Android, and then obviously you can also see the iPhone in the top right of the screen. You will also see that the screen that is now around me here has gone green around the top. That means because I'm actively speaking, that will default automatically to this screen view. If I were to turn the audio on the other phone and then were to start speaking on this phone, this would then highlight green and the video will automatically change to that. Now obviously you can see from this setup straight away that how you can potentially have a translator on one phone on the iPhone, and you could have a translator, you could have the patient on the Android phone, and you could quite easily conduct a communication through doing that way. And if you really wanted to, say this was your patient, you could double click on that and you could then pin the video here, or you could either unpin the video, or you can then pin it by double clicking on there as well. Obviously to get back to the video you wanted to do, and you could do it. Obviously you can see that you can go to full screen as well by double clicking at the same point. There are buttons that are geared towards multi-conference meetings and perhaps where you want to do things like remote learning. So you've got the share screen facility, which allows you to use a whiteboard perhaps, or you could actually link it up to an iPad. You do need to have a plugin for that to set that up though, but you can quite easily see how it could be helpful. Or you could link it to the screen and perhaps do some remote distant learning with a PowerPoint teaching there. Furthermore, there's obviously a chat here if you really wanted to have the chat to record it, the ability to record it so you can actually monitor things. And obviously if you've got any disruptive registrars or any trainees in there, you do have the option to have a look at what they're doing, to mute all in case they were interrupting at all at any point. So what I'm quickly going to do now is just quickly log out of everything on here, and then I'll set up a meeting from the Android phone and you can see how they look perhaps and how to quickly log in onto a system from that way around. Obviously when you come to the end of the meeting, it's as simple as click end meeting, and you just end the meeting for every single person going there, and that end then will report through saying this meeting has been handed to host through the other people. So just to show that you don't need an account, what we'll do is we will log out here by signing out at present, and then obviously we will then go and have a look at how to join Zoom, not necessarily have an account. So as you can see, rather than clicking sign in this time, I'm going to click join a meeting, and what I will quickly do on my Android is set up a new meeting here, and instantly again by following on there. Obviously Android and Apple are going to be slightly different, but again what we're going to do is obviously enter our meeting ID in. This is obviously taken from the Android phone, which hopefully they will send you through, or you click through the link. Obviously type in a quick name, and then join, and then the password obviously we need to get from the Android phone, which is the passwords and meeting numbers obviously change all the time, so make sure to do it again. So you can either click again join with video or join without video. And then we can join with computer audio. I will mute it pretty quickly so we're not getting the feedback through to do it. And what you can see from here is that if I start to share from here, you can then start to see what happens to the people on the other end. So I'm sharing with whiteboard on the other, and then obviously I can write name coming through, so obviously there's a bit of lag around it, and then obviously etc, things like that, and then that should basically be it. And then you can stop the sharing, and that's what the person gets on the other side. So relatively simple thing. If there's any questions, don't hesitate to give me to contact me. I hope you found it useful. Sorry it's gone off a bit longer than expected. Thank you.